Welcome everyone in to the Main Street Sports Show live from the Haskell House in downtown Clarion and on exploreClarion.com, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet. I'm your host Owen Krepps. We got a good show tonight with some Clarion football to talk, Clarion high school football that is. And I'm joined by my co-host Mike Kalinowski, who's back for the second guest I've had. You're the most recurring guest I've had.
All right.
So welcome back to the show, Mike.
Thank you very much, Owen.
And then we got a great show coming up. We got the head coach of Clarion area football. Dave Eggleton will join us today. I know you did a lot of games this past season, so it should be a good chat.
It should be very good. We have a couple of the players here too. We have Brady, Quinn, and we also have Tommy Smith here with us, and so we'll get to talk to those guys. And actually, I've known Davey a long, long time. I think Davey still owes me a detention from high school. I have to go back and look. I'm not quite sure, but no, I have had a chance back when Davey was in high school too, when he was playing to see to broadcast some of those games, and then of course now today with him as a coach. So it's kind of neat to see that transformation. Kind of makes you feel old too at times, but it should be really good tonight. This Central Clarion team's been fantastic.
Coming off a strong season.
Another strong season. So I know these guys have a lot of great things that we'll be able to talk about, and you guys have had a ton of really good guests on the show over the last several weeks, and I know there's a lot more to come.
Of course, yeah. So Central Clarion, like you said, are coming out. I know I always say Clarion area. I don't know why I do that.
I'll just kick you.
But they're coming off an 11-1 season in the District 9 championship. They made it to the state playoffs where they lost in round 1, but we'll chat with them coming up here. But since you've been gone, actually, we've started a little bit of a new segment here. Okay. Very small thing to do just real quick. And that's what happened today in sports history.
Well, I saw this, and I do have a couple comments because it's some interesting stuff, but go ahead.
But pretty much when we get to this point of the sports world season right now, we have two things going on right now, and that's Super Bowls and the Winter Olympics starting. So we have, in this day in sports history, the Winter Olympics starting in 1948, 1984, 1992, and most recently in 2002. So those are really I don't know, do you watch the Winter Olympics?
Actually enjoy it. A lot of the different sports in the Winter Olympics, and takes me back to, I remember as a kid in 1980 when the hockey team beat the Russians, and that was like the greatest thing in the world. That was one of those years. Yeah, in 1980, my grandfather was in his glory because Reagan was president, the Pope was Polish, and the United States beat Russia in the Olympics, and it was just like we were all kind of walking on air as Americans because that was just such a great hockey match too.
I'm very excited. The NHL just announced recently, like a week ago, that they're going to be back at the Olympics. It's been since 2014. Since they haven't allowed NHL players to go there. Sidney Crosby will be 40 by the next Olympics, but I still am rooting for him on Team Canada there. But next Olympics are not until 2026, so yes, it'll be 39-40.
Okay. Yeah, and there's always great stuff there too. I mean, it's always with the skating and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Other thing I wanted to mention that happened in today's sports history that's not Olympics related. In this day in 1996, the Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens.
And I'll tell you, as watching that happen too, you could see the city of Cleveland was just shocked because basically Art Modell took that team and just moved them right out of town in the dead of night. And when they woke up the next day, that was it. They were gone.
Yeah, we bag on Cleveland sports fans here in Western Pennsylvania a lot, but I don't know. You got to give them some sort of sympathy there when your team just disappears overnight, especially.
And then, of course, right after that, they end up winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Ravens winning Super Bowl and then going Final Four this year. Yeah. But we'll be back after a quick break here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Central Clarion Wildcats football. 3 special guests coming up. That's all on the Main Street Sports Show, live on Explore Clarion, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's Kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Dubrook, a division of M&B Group, is your trusted local ready-mix supplier for residential and commercial projects. Dubrook provides a full line of decorative concrete, as well as concrete supplies, along with a variety of concrete tools and accessories. Dubrook can provide services large or small for residential and commercial projects to contractors or homeowners. Dubrook is here to provide you with options and ideas to make planning your next project simple. Let Dubrook help you with the supplies you need to get the job done. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities with plants in Clarion, Du Bois, St. Mary's, Butler, Evans City, Bradford, and Meadville. Call 1-844-382-7665.
Welcome to 12 Series, a veteran-owned and operated company. Want to stand out amongst the crowd? This is the brand for you. They have apparel that ranges from cardio tanks and hoodies to sweat noggin covers. The apparel isn't just designed for the gym, it's designed for everyday life. Whether at work, the range, or at a family outing, 12 Series will turn heads. Find and like 12 Series on Facebook and Instagram.
Clarion Forest VNA believes the emotional and physical well-being of a patient is enhanced by the patient receiving care in the familiar surroundings of home. Their staff of caring professionals work closely with physicians to administer quality care to meet the needs of each individual. As a pioneer in home health care in Clarion and Forest County, Clarion Forest VNA continue to grow to meet the community's need for in-home care, offering many different services and programs to meet the patient's need. Clarion Forest VNA, located at 271 Perkins Road in Clarion. Call us toll-free at 1-800-262-2118.
No matter how cold it is outside, you can keep warm and toasty inside with a built-in-the-USA super efficient furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Affordable, quiet, and reliable. You can count on your furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Protect your home or business from all those sneaky pests. Give Hugh Henry's Pest Management a call at 814-316-1875 or check them out online at bugguy.com. Pest Management, where nature and technology meet.
Throughout West Central Pennsylvania, people are losing their glasses. Well, they haven't really lost them. They just don't need them anymore. Thanks to the amazing LASIK surgeons at Laurel Eye Clinic. Call Laurel Eye Clinic and schedule your free consultation.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, live from the Haskell House on exploreClarion.com, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet. We're going to be jumping into just some general sports headlines before we get to our main interview portion today with Clarion football. But let's just talk, we'll go national. We'll start at the national level with the biggest thing that's going to be going on this weekend. We have to talk about it, even though the team's in it. I'm not sure too many people outside of their specific fan bases wanted them to be there. 49ers, Chiefs, Super Bowl.
I thought you were going to talk about the Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl is what I will be watching.
No, but yeah, that'll be interesting this weekend. And of course, with the Chiefs, with all that stuff, with Taylor Swift and all that stuff going on, a lot of younger people I know are talking about it, especially the girls. And I have junior high girls, and they never talk about football, but now they're like, "Oh, did you see where she was at last weekend?" So they're all pretty excited. Should be an interesting one, though.
It should be a good game. These are two of the best teams in football. I know we all wanted the Lions to be in the Super Bowl, or even just the Ravens, not us in Western Pennsylvania, but it should be a good game. I'm not really rooting for anyone. I'm just going to go and watch and hope for an entertaining game. Go Usher is my pick for the Super Bowl.
Okay. And honestly, I'm not sure because I don't really follow it that closely, but I don't know. I'm going to take a look at both. Let's go with the Chiefs.
The Chefs.
Remember that commercial for, what was it, Snickers or something? And they were painting the end zone, and it said Chefs instead of Chiefs, and the guy goes, "You need a Snickers?" You know.
Oh, you're not you when you're hungry.
See, it's a little bit of humor we're trying to involve.
I will say, I said this last week, I lived in Las Vegas for a year. I know that under that building when they were constructing it, which is where the Super Bowl will be, there is a Chiefs, I don't know if it was a flag or a rally towel. It's buried underneath Allegiant Stadium. So the Chiefs are going to win this game.
Yeah, that very well could be.
To the disappointment of many, it's what's going to happen.
I see you also have something here about the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, did anyone watch that?
On.
Did anyone watch that?
Is it? Did I see in the paper or something or on one of a report where it was like it's like a flag football game now or something?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, which is, I mean, that makes sense. You don't want to get people injured, even if it is at the end of the season. But I didn't watch it. Other thing in NFL news: the Eagles will start the season in Brazil. of all countries. They had such a rough end to their season that they don't even want to be in America to start the season anymore. I'm happy to get them as further away from us as we can.
And I think that's one of those things too. And I know in the past, the NFL certainly wants to become more international, and I think you're going to see more steps to try to make that kind of come and happen. I think you'll start to see teams from other continents and things like that.
They should
I
put a
think
team in
that's what
Cleveland.
they're going to do. Well, that's probably true. I mean, maybe Pittsburgh too at this point. So.
Maybe Pittsburgh at this point. NFL awards are also tonight. TJ Watt, and going in, we'll segue real quick into the Steelers news. TJ Watt and Joey Porter are nominated for awards, both Defensive Player of the Years. Joey Porter's case, Rookie Defensive Player of the Years. I think TJ wins deep boy easily, but we'll see tonight at 9, I think. So right after the show wraps up. But other than that, really no Steelers news to say. Art Rooney did say that they are not closing a door on trading for a quarterback potentially. Justin Fields, ? Justin Herbert. It was not going to happen, but it's going to be Kenny Pickett next year. And
I don't know. I said this a long time ago, and not that I follow it that closely, like I said, but I love college football. And Kenny was all right in college. I thought he was above average. But as far as that, I said he's not going to be in Pittsburgh in 5 years, and I don't see him there in Pittsburgh in 5 years.
Yeah, still got the first round, and the Steelers still have their first round pick. We'll see if they'll draft a quarterback
It'll be
there.
interesting. We'll see if my premonition comes true.
Moving on to the Penguins. Finally, we got some news for the Penguins. These past 2 shows, they've been on really just on a long All-Star break. Back from the All-Star game, Sidney Crosby returns. Great win over the Jets, 3-0 on Monday night, that was, I think. Noel Acciari got knocked out. Brendan Dillon hit him, 3-game suspension. That's besides the point. But, yeah, good start for the Penguins. Other thing I wanted to mention, I got to throw in my love for the team I formerly covered, the Vegas Golden Knights. This relates to the Penguins because they defeated the Edmonton Oilers 2 days ago now and stopped their winning streak at 16 games, which means that the Pittsburgh Penguins of the 1992-93 season still have the longest winning streak ever in NHL history with 17 games. Do you remember that team by any chance?
Oh, my goodness,
That was a wagon team with 6
very,
to 7
very
Hall of Famers on it.
Yep, and that win that they had the other night too, and I always check out the standings in the morning, and they really, for the Penguins, they needed to kick it into gear here because and they certainly did with that win coming back from the All-Star break.
Yeah, absolutely. That 92-93 team, just while I still have it on my mind, that was obviously back-to-back championships in 91-92. 93 team that really had the majority of that roster back, and they were fire through the entire regular season. 17-game winning streak, like we said, and then they go to the playoffs and they get upset by the New York Islanders, who, in my opinion, is the Penguins. And the Flyers are the number one rival, but if you want to talk about playoff upsets, the New York Islanders have done that to the Penguins more than any team ever. But yeah, and then moving on to the Pirates, I don't have anything to report really.
Yeah, it's kind of quiet right now. We'll have to see what happens. I know Jake's pretty big on the season coming up, and the catcher position, I think he was happy, even though the injury to the potential, the starting catcher.
Endy Rodriguez,
yeah. So, but
we'll see how it all shapes out. Right now, it's I don't know, baseball is like the last thing on my mind. We just enjoying. We'll get to the end of the football season, then we'll get into spring training and all that stuff. Real quick, local sports. Did you go to any games this week? Did you see any games?
Yeah, we were down at Union High School last night.
You guys broadcasted that?
Yeah, we had Union and Redbank Valley. Actually started out pretty good. Union still fighting for one of those 4 spots for the Keystone Shortway Conference Championships, and they came up short last night against Redbank Valley. Redbank's still undefeated in the Keystone Shortway Conference. And then I know coming up on Saturday is a real big one. Could be for first place to see who will be the number 1 seed for the KSAC Championship. So we're going to be down there for that at Redbank Valley as a Clarion area in Redbank will.
Right. I had the, speaking of games I went to Clarion Bobcats, their game against, who did they play? Cranberry. It was kind of a one-sided victory for them. Like I went into this game thinking, it could be a good game, and they probably had, I've seen about 4 or 5 of their games now. That was probably their best game of the season so far. They really just, senior night, but they just put it all together, and every single was fitting. I had nine seniors on that team.
Yeah,
every single one of them scored points in the game, which was perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That doesn't happen often. That's good.
No, it doesn't. Other game I went to this week, up on Monday, I went to Karn City. North Clarion beat Karn City there. Lily Holman's a great player. She might be the most impressive girls basketball player I've seen all season. Just really impressed with the way she plays the game. So
Yeah, North Clarion has a way of producing some really good girls basketball players, and she's one of them in a long, long line.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back with our first interview segment. Once again, we have Clarion area football coming up for you guys with head coach Dave Eggleton and 2 of his players. It's all coming up on the Main Street Sports Show, live from the Haskell House and on exploreClarion.com.
Hey, Julie, nice deck. Did you get that at Tio Nesta Builder Supply?
It's Tio Nesta Builder Supply, and yes, Dave, I did.
Wonder if they sell siding and roofing at Tio Nesta Builder Supply.
It's Tio Nesta, and yes, Tio Nesta Builder Supply has that too. Come on, Dave. You've never been there? They have 2 showrooms for anything home improvement. Mom got a custom kitchen there. Bill down the street got the materials for his garage. They have this awesome website, www.tionestabuilders.us. You can buy online. They really have everything for the home.
Wow, I'm heading over to Tio Nesta. I know. Tio Nesta Builders.
Tio Nesta Builder Supply Home Improvement Center, family owned and operated since 1958, with locations in Tio Nesta and Shippenville.
That sounds good. I'll check them out online at tionestabuilders.us.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
Clarion Forest VNA believes the emotional and physical well-being of a patient is enhanced by the patient receiving care in the familiar surroundings of home. Their staff of caring professionals work closely with physicians to administer quality care to meet the needs of each individual. As a pioneer in home health care in Clarion and Forest County, Clarion Forest VNA continue to grow to meet the community's need for in-home care, offering many different services and programs to meet the patient's need. Clarion Forest VNA, located at 271 Perkins Road in Clarion. Call us toll-free at 1-800-262-2118.
Throughout West Central Pennsylvania, people are losing their glasses. Well, they haven't really lost them. They just don't need them anymore. Thanks to the amazing LASIK surgeons at Laurel Eye Clinic. Call Laurel Eye Clinic and schedule your free consultation.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show. I'm your host, Owen Krepps, and I'm in desperate need of a haircut. We're gonna introduce the main segment of the show here. We got 3 special guests lined up from Clarion area football, Central Clarion football. I get them wrong every single time.
I didn't get you that time, though.
We got Dave Eggleton. Dave, how you doing? And I see you've brought Tommy Smith and Brady Quinn with you, 2 of your players. How you doing? And welcome to the show.
Excited to be here, so thanks for having us.
Of course. Let's just jump into this past season to start off. A very impressive season for you guys at 11-1. That one coming at the end of the season. Just in general, how are you feeling coming off the season? And you guys are in the midst of the off season right now, but I understand you're not relaxing or anything. You're not on vacation or anything like that.
Yeah, there is no off season, I feel like, anymore, especially with football. We're proud of what we put out this season. Obviously, that one loss, it hurts a lot, and you don't quite get over it. I know, especially for these guys, they are hungry. We talked about it at dinner tonight. They are hungry just to keep playing. They never expected the season to be over after that week, and it's kind of a tough blow and something that hopefully the younger guys use to drive themselves to get better this year. So,
Tommy, Brady, how are you guys doing? Just to introduce, if you could just introduce yourself to the audience. Like, I understand one of you goes to Clarion, one of you goes to CL.
Yes, my name's Tommy Smith. I go to CL. I'm a senior. This year. So.
Yeah, I'm Brady Quinn. I go to Clarion area. Also a senior this year. So we just wrapped up our senior year with this season that we just had in the fall.
Of course. Go ahead.
Well, one thing, Dave, we wanted to talk to you too, and you're in kind of a unique position. You've had a chance to play under and coach with some of the top coaches in the state of Pennsylvania. You with over at Clarion Limestone, of course, with Clyde Connie, you played as one of his players, and played against Larry Weiser when he was coaching. Then had a chance to coach with him. What was that like, and how did those guys kind of influence you and what you're doing now?
Yeah, I feel like I learned so much from both of those guys playing under Coach Connie. He was just such a motivator, and it didn't matter, the odds, what odds you were against. He had you believing going in that game that week that you're going to win every night. It didn't matter who was on the other side. So I always appreciated that about Coach Connie, and then Coach Weiser, just a legend, over 200 wins. And I would have to think lots of things I took away from coaching with Coach Weiser, but the one big thing was how he made everyone in the program feel important. Everyone was a stakeholder. Everyone there had a job and knew their role, knew their responsibilities, and really felt like they were part of it. And that's something that he always did a great job of, getting numbers out, keeping kids involved, and just a special guy to be able to coach with and learn from.
And as far as like the X's and O's and things, was there anything that you, from both of those guys, that you kind of have taken and made a part of the program right now?
Yeah, I think a lot of our blocking schemes really probably goes back to the old Clyde Connie wing tee football that I played in. We're doing it more out of the spread and the gun formations, but a lot of the blocking schemes and techniques are very similar. And Coach Weiser, a lot of the defensive, we moved to a lot of man-to-man defense this year, especially towards the end of the season. Taking a lot of the philosophies at Coach Weiser with pressuring the quarterback, sending multiple different blitzes and fronts and looks. So I think it's a good meld between what I picked up from coaching with both of them playing under Coach Connie and coaching with Coach Weiser. Those are like two of the guys you'd put on Mount Rushmore probably in District 9 coaching. So definitely a very, very lucky person to be able to be a part of both of their coaching careers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know working with Clyde over at CL for years, never saw a guy go through more VCRs back in the day. I know the librarian used to get pretty upset with them because he'd wear them out, but that's what it took, and you guys will all learn through that. And of course, with Coach Weiser, when you came into the program and now the way the program is, it certainly has opened up a lot. I know Larry was much more on the ground and stuff like that, but you guys really have had fantastic air attack as well.
Yeah, I've been blessed with, since the co-op especially, I've been really blessed with two quarterbacks in the last 5 years, and both of them were phenomenal kids. Calvin German, I had him for 2 years, and then moved right from Calvin to Jace Ferguson. So it's hard not to have a good air attack when you have guys with that type of ability, and the receivers that we've had. Going back to with Calvin, guys like Ethan Burford and Cutter Bogus and Hunter Craddock, and I know I'm missing guys. And then as we move through, you start getting guys like Brady Quinn, Tommy Smith, Dawson Smale, Ashton Rex last year or previous season, and then Mason Burford coming on this year. So we've really been blessed with a lot of talent on the outside with good quarterbacks. So I guess it's more out of not necessity, but we've been blessed with that talent. We're going to use it.
You guys scored a lot of points this past season. Just simply put, average 56 a game or something like that for the players. Just what's it like being a part of that offense? And it's got to be fun to play in those games when you're running up the score. No?
It sure is fun. It's a lot of that starts with the O-line. I feel like I don't think there's a weak spot on our offense. I mean, all those guys. I mean, kudos to him. I guess he prepares us very well. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you're playing on a team that does that, because when you realize, like he said, how many people that we could get with the ball in their hand this year, it builds a chemistry around you, because you know that you can't be selfish because you think you're better when the guy you're looking at right across from you, not on defense, but on your side of the ball, is just as good as you. So you have every attack that you need right there, and it just builds a chemistry, and it makes it so much more fun to play with. But at the same time, it could also make you a little mad at this guy that you want the ball more.
No, I was going to say, too, the unselfishness is something, because you see that, and that had to be murder for an opposing team to prepare for you guys, because at any time, any of you guys were go-tos, so you couldn't focus just on one person. Jace had so many different weapons, and I know Colin, both of you guys making some big plays and things like that, so that had to be murder for other coaches, as far as like planning for you guys.
Yeah, and they push each other, because they know, if I don't make this play, I might not get another chance, because the next guy might make the play and we're going to be on defense again. So, they really knew that when they got their number called, they better make the most of the opportunity, because the next guy will.
Right, Coach, that's something we talked about over the phone, the internal competition that you have, especially with 3 schools. Just for the players, again, like, what is that like to be kind of just fighting for a position basically at all times of the season, making sure every play counts and every minute in the off season counts as well?
I mean, yeah, it's a challenge. You know what I mean? You go into practice, and it's a new challenge every day. You know what I mean? You're always getting better at something. So. And
you guys don't start in August, because I know the program well, and it starts when the season ends, and then in the summer you also have the program that you have at the high school where you guys are conditioning and all that stuff. So it doesn't ever end, and you're constantly striving to be better.
Yeah, and these guys just, their work ethic the last couple of years has taken the program to a new level. So, and the younger guys look up to that. And a lot of weeks, our JV guys, that was the best look we got all week sometimes, because our JV guys were really good. And they pushed them and made them better every week. When Ethan Rex is the opposing quarterback, and he's making plays, and like you look at it, like I don't know that the varsity quarterbacks we see this week are going to make that play, but he makes it because he's that good of an athlete. And we have and we always have guys like Braylon Beckwith who play predominantly on defense. Mm-hmm. He wants to jump in on the defensive side when we're running team offense and get on the scout, and it just makes everyone around better. That internal competition, we go real up tempo, 2 days a week during the season, and then during the 2 days, we actually for the first time ever this year we went live a day, the week of our scrimmage, just because we felt like we needed it to get ready. With having the shortened, from 2 weeks down to 1 week of full pads, you don't get the 2 scrimmages like you used to. So having that luxury with the amount of guys we have, being able to go a live, almost ones-on-ones to get ready is a luxury.
Yeah, and I think too, people forget just how good your defense was, and you mentioned that as the year went on, and with you guys too playing on each side and looking at that. And I think the one game that stands out too, when you guys played Redbank at the end of the year, and a lot of folks were looking at that for become kind of a shootout, and it really started off because Redbank, explosive offense too, but really highlighted how good your defense was to be able to shut down some really explosive offensive players, and that's a tribute to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, our secondary that week, we challenged them. We said all week, we felt like the year before we played too soft, so we got up in their face, and which is a dangerous thing against those kids. One slip and they would be gone, and but they were up to the challenge all night long, and our defense definitely was overlooked just because of everyone wants to look at the points we scored. But our defense was fantastic this year.
Yeah, was that one on your radar this year too? I know Westinghouse was too, but that Redbank game I'm sure wasn't it? Well, had to feel good.
Last year, after going down there against Redbank, when they only had 1 loss and we were undefeated, I think we were a little bit too high on our horses, thinking like, yeah, this is going to be a tough game, but I mean, we're getting an undefeated season, and then for us to be upset like that, I know it's stuck on a lot of our minds more than the way the season ended last year. Everyone would talk about, like, it doesn't matter what we do all year as long as we get that Redbank game back, and it was on all of our minds going into that game. I know Jace had the score written on his spike that game to every time we looked down to remember what happened last year. I had it written on my wrist and on the inside of my spike, so it stayed in a lot of our minds, but the reason why I think we were able to pull that game out is not because of how mad we were about losing last year. It was what we did during that week was we know they have good athletes. We know they're going to make a play. We weren't really used to that this year with the competition that we had, so it was just you have to have trust and faith in your teammates because we know they're going to make a play once in a while on you, so you have to know we can get that play back, and we have to have trust that someone else can help you make it as well.
Okay, well, and you guys did make it happen, and that was it was a great football game, and I know we'll have to see what happens. Now, next year, is it at your place, or are you guys playing next year?
Yeah, we're playing next year, yeah.
Because I know there was a reason there were two down there, but it'll be back up here, so it should be interesting. You guys will have to come back and check that one out, too. We'll have to bring you up into the booth, and you can help us out. That'd be fun. All right, we're going to take a time out. We're going to take our commercial break, and we're going to welcome in Kristen and Jody and some other folks from Redbank Chevrolet. They're here. They have a couple vehicles outside. We're going to check those out, and we'll take our break, and you're watching the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. It's right here from the Haskell House in Clarion. It's right here on exploreClarion.com. Good job. That was good.
This is a great show.
Hey, check out this all-new 2024 Chevrolet Trax 1RS in cacti green. Let's talk about some of those safety features. We have blind spot monitoring system, we have forward collision system with alert and brake, and we have lane departure warning as well. How about the gas mileage?
30 miles per gallon average. Yeah, it's great.
People really love those safety features like blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning with alert and braking, and lane departure warning.
Bumper-to-bumper warranty and the 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty.
And check out the clarity on this backup camera on this 11-inch touchscreen.
It's great.
Can you believe you get all the features like heated steering wheel, heated seats, remote start, power sunroof, all for $24,900?
That's a great value in the new Chevrolet. Hey, check out this Glacier Blue RST Silverado 4x4 Z71 four-wheel drive. 5.3 liter V8. It's a really nice, sharp truck. All LT and RST Silverados have this same interior. Got this really large touchscreen display, built-in Google Maps, heated seats, automatic climate control, heated steering wheel. We have a backup camera, really great display, and all the safety aspects. Adaptive parking, adaptive braking, pedestrian braking, blind spot mitigation.
Follow us to Redbank Chevrolet.
Welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show live from the Haskell House on exploreClarion.com. We're back with our interview segment, talking some football here. I wanted to ask you this, Coach. Impressive season, but you got, as any team in high school does, you lose your seniors at the end of the year. The two players to the left of you will not be returning. What do you think you need to replace in terms of that, and do you think you'll be able to with the JV and junior high programs that you got coming up?
Yeah, you know, every year you feel like you lose, part of your family because, I've watched these kids grow up and as well as the other seniors, and we lose some really good ones this year with Brady, Tommy. We lose Coleman Slater off the line, Colby Wright off the line, Jake Smith off the line. So 3 linemen there. We lose Dawson Smale, a receiver. So we definitely have some holes to fill. And some guys that need to really challenge themselves this offseason to get ready to fill those holes. we're excited though. You know, we've had really good junior high teams. 2 years ago, our junior high team was undefeated. This past season, our JV team was undefeated. And really, you know, I think they mercy rolled about every team. So that's exciting to see that success, and we're excited to see what those young kids can do. We've got some really talented kids coming through that are more than capable, but they've got to be willing to put the work in and do the work like these guys did. And I think it's always the big thing too is not just replacing the output on the field, but replacing that leadership that they provide. You know, these two guys are good examples of, you know, they work hard every day in practice. You know, they're vocal leaders, and that can be harder to replace sometimes than the actual on the field play. So that's something that we're really going to have to find the guys that are willing to step up and do that.
Brady and Tommy, what's next for you guys? College, working? What are you guys doing after you graduate?
I'm gonna go to Clarion. Hopefully play baseball, but I have not decided what I want to actually study. So.
Quinn?
I'm planning on going to Triangle Tech and learning how to be an electrician, and then hopefully down the line starting my own electric company.
Sounds good. Will you guys stay involved with the program? Are you looking to?
I plan on it 100%. As soon as the season was over, I went and looked to how old you have to be a volunteer coach. I'm not there yet. But
No. How old do you have to be?
21 apparently.
Okay.
So when I'm 21, I expect to be back down there again.
That's the true thing that unlocks when you're 21. And then, Coach, just for these guys, if they do end up coaching, any advice to them if they do?
Well, I think the biggest thing with coaching is you never get too high with highs and low with lows. You know, you're gonna, you know, I've been through it through my career, and you're gonna hit tough spots and you're gonna hit really good spots. You just have to try to maintain your be a level head and maintain your composure throughout it, and usually that'll carry you through. So.
Yeah, but always listen to the parents, right?
They always know best. So.
And I was going to say too, if you guys, and we always talk about this too, if you're interested and want to stay active in the sport, we always talk about becoming an official too. So, you know, that's one thing. Everybody gets on the officials, but you guys are young and you can move. And you know, some of those old guys, it's tough, and a lot of them want to give it up, but something to think about too.
Yeah.
So I think you know, and I think both of you would be really, really good at that. And you can come back and yell at him and say, "Get back on the sideline."
Now, you guys were co-opted. You guys co-opted 5 years ago. So for your guys' entire high school career, you guys were the Clarion Wildcats, correct? Just so you grew up, I mean, through the ranks with kids from other schools as well. You have, I guess, a different type of senior class, even though you're graduating from different schools. What was that aspect like? And I'm sure you guys made friends that you never expected to make and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with the three different schools, a lot of times there's, like, you don't know everyone or certain people don't get along, but I feel like, you know, with the football team, I mean, there was nothing like that ever at any point. We all just kind of bonded, you know what I mean? So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the main thing what people would say is, like, will you be able to squash the rivalry when you two join together? But when it happened for us, we were just getting into high school, so for us there really was no rivalry, and we were already beginning to be close friends, so it made us even closer that we got to grow up with each other with football, and I think that's really what made us the better team, is that it wasn't that we were actually better, is that we bonded perfectly together, and that's when we would do anything for the guy next to us out on the field.
Yeah, it's one thing too with Clarion and CL especially, because you guys kind of grew up together anyway through Little League and some other things and flag football and all that stuff. So, I mean, a lot of you guys know each other even before you got into the co-op.
Yeah, I remember me and Tommy, our last year of Little League, we were on the same Little League team, and we won a championship that year. Yeah. So it's little stuff like that you carry over into football, and you bring it up once in a while, and you talk about how you became friends and all that stuff, and it just keeps you close, and it forms a bond that I don't think will ever be broken.
Yeah, there's never any of that Clarion, CL, it's kind of interesting because in basketball you still have two separate teams. Boy, when you guys get together, you still fight like crazy, but afterwards it's great because you watch you all back on the court, and you're giving hugs, and it's all great, and it's wonderful. Any advice you would give a lot of the teams in the area, because you guys are young, some of those players that might be a little apprehensive as they're talking about co-ops in some of the other districts, maybe to set them a little bit at ease?
I'd say that you might think that it's a bad idea because maybe it'll set you up a class, maybe you won't win as many games, maybe there'll be parents complaining, but you have to think about it for the athletes that you're coaching and what is best for them and what will make them better in life and not just in football. Because like you mentioned, that we have a rivalry within our team because of how many players we have. So that builds a work ethic into your mind, and you carry that into your actual life. So I think it benefits a kid while playing football and when he goes into life later on.
Yeah, very good. Tommy, anything you want to throw in there?
I mean, yeah, I agree 100%. You know, it's been a blast, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to be coached by him. Yeah, those types of things, you hang on to them forever.
I was going to say, is there anything you want to tell us about Coach Eggleton? But no, it seems like you guys have such a great working relationship, you know, as coach and as players. And I don't know if it maybe just a little, maybe something about the season or maybe a little interaction you have with them that maybe stands out.
He does like to yell a lot, I will say that, but it's all in good cause. He's taught me a lot, that's for sure, and same with all the other coaches. So
I always try to follow it up with a, yell, but then maybe an arm around the back or say, here's what you need to do now.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not the most comforting, I'll say that. He is our coach, but at the same time, he's almost another one of our friends, just because I know that he would be willing to do absolutely anything for us, and all of us love him for that. And even the times that he's yelling, he's only doing it for us to get better. So it's just, I don't know, I'm glad that out of all the coaches I got to play for, he was the one that I ended with.
I wanted to talk about the assistant coaches as well that you've had. It's kind of a similar dynamic where you have a bunch of people coming together from different backgrounds to merge into one and put out success. What's that been like with your assistant coaches and other personnel?
I say it every year. I've got the best staff in the entire league, entire district, maybe the entire state. I got Coach Louder, a longtime head coach at Union. He's my defensive coordinator. He actually played football at Clarion. Coach Mike Ferguson, he's been with me from the time I started out at CL. My quarterback's coach, and Coach Doug Knepp, my O-line coach, he's been with me, came from CL with me. Coach Cam Kirkland, he's our assistant offensive coordinator. He was a great football player at Clarion area. Coach Mike Hyman, he's an O-line, D-line coach, another guy. He's a great football player for Clarion area, so I didn't miss any of them, did I? I'll feel bad if I did. But, just the way that, we're made up of guys with all, backgrounds from both schools, and I think that was kind of a calming, when we came into the co-op, there was going to be representation from both schools. It wasn't going to be, one school dominates the coaching staff, and Coach Weiser leading that initial charge. It just was huge being, the respect everyone had for him, and being able to get through those first, couple years, and where everyone was still a little bit skeptical. Some people probably still weren't sold on it and waiting to see for the one thing to go wrong so they could declare failure, and it just didn't happen. The kids got along great, the coaching staff got along great, and kids got more opportunities than what they ever had before. So.
Yeah, we had talked about that years and years ago. I know when you were a student out at CL and I was teaching out there, we actually did a survey, and we had one of our stats classes crunch the numbers, and back at that time, that would have been right around 97, 98-ish, maybe 99. The kids were all in favor of it, and they even picked out like something like a Wildcat or some name and colors. And but it seems like it took the parents a while, but now you look in the crowd and even the parents are all together, they're working together. And that's nice to see, bringing all these communities together.
Yeah, it really is. We all share the community. CL, Clarion, North Clarion, the Clarion community is kind of the hub of that. You know, we all shop at the same place, go to the same churches. You know, I know you said about the basketball team, but I kind of equate it to like if you're playing a game against your brother, that's the one person you don't want to lose against because you're going to have to hear about it until you get a chance to beat him again. So, you know, you go to the basketball game, and I think that's what you see is that fire, you know, the competition between each other, because it's like competing against one of your brothers, one of your family members, and you don't want to have to hear about it until your next opportunity to beat them again. So,
who came up with the Wildcat name?
That was a student vote.
Okay. So are you guys like it in general?
Yeah.
The color scheme and everything?
Yep.
Sounds good. Well, good. I didn't know if I was just interested in that because you got a Bobcats and seal lions and
it does have a
wolves.
Historical
Yeah.
background. You know, there was a Wildcat regiment that fought out of Clarion, Jefferson County in the Civil War. They actually are a very decorated regiment. They have a statue at Gettysburg.
Okay. The more you know. We'll take another break here. We'll be back for a couple just interesting fan questions submitted. You're watching the Main Street Sports Show live on Explore Clarion and sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet.
Hey, Julie, nice deck. Did you get that at Tio Nesta Builder Supply?
It's Tio Nesta Builder Supply. And yes, Dave, I did.
Wonder if they sell siding and roofing at Tio Nesta Builder Supply.
It's Tio Nesta. And yes, Tio Nesta Builder Supply has that too. Come on, Dave. You've never been there? They have 2 showrooms for anything home improvement. Mom got a custom kitchen there. Bill down the street got the materials for his garage. They have this awesome website, www.tionestabuilders.us. You can buy online. They really have everything for the home.
Wow, I'm heading over to Tio Nesta. I know. Tio Nesta Builders.
Tio Nesta Builder Supply Home Improvement Center. Family owned and operated since 1958 with locations in Tio Nesta and Shippenville.
That sounds good. I'll check them out online at tionestabuilders.us.
Welcome to 12 Series, a veteran-owned and operated company. Want to stand out amongst the crowd? This is the brand for you. They have apparel that ranges from cardio tanks and hoodies to sweat noggin covers. The apparel isn't just designed for the gym, it's designed for everyday life. Whether at work, the range, or at a family outing, 12 Series will turn heads. Find and like 12 Series on Facebook and Instagram.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
No matter how cold it is outside, you can keep warm and toasty inside with a built-in-the-USA super efficient furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Affordable, quiet, and reliable. You can count on your furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, live on Explore Clarion and from the Haskell House, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet. We're going to get into our fan interaction segment, essentially where fans submit questions and we ask them to our guests. We'll start. Do you have any? Do you want to start with Mike to start? But
just let's go with I guess all three of you too. Is there a real funny moment from this season? Like one of the times where you guys all just kind of stopped and you're like rolling on the ground laughing or anything like that? Anything great from that standpoint?
I think just everything. There wasn't one thing on this team that wasn't funny to us. Camp is always hilarious. I guess I do have a story about camp. Hayden Hindman has really long hair, and he was in our cabin for our camp. So we had the plan that we were going to put melatonin in his water, and so he fell asleep and wouldn't wake up, and we were going to cut his hair. And somehow he found out. It was after he got out of the shower, and we were telling him that we were going to do that to him. And he kept running around the camp with no clothes on because he did not want to get his hair cut at all, so that was pretty funny.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's something. I mean, it's like I said, it's been super fun. There's always something to laugh about, whether it's making fun of coaches or them making fun of us. You know what I mean? So.
Who's got the best nickname on the team?
That's a good one.
I'd have to say Fonz. Honestly, I don't know where that came from, honestly, but he's a joy to have around. That's for sure.
Who was that? The Fonz?
He's the equipment manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a legend. Yeah.
Well, he's been around forever.
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't covered a Clarion game yet, so I'm sure I'll get acquainted to him. This next one comes from Cal in Huntington. You guys are now in 3 schools in one. So who would you say now is your biggest rival?
Well, I would say Redbank. Yeah, probably Redbank, because that's the game that we look forward to every year is at the end of the season at Redbank. But I guess after last year, our one rival that we really look forward to this year, besides losing that game, was probably Westinghouse, trying to get that game back from last year.
So it's 2 years straight.
Yeah, they moved away from you. They were afraid. They knew the third time.
They knew we were going to get them this year.
That's right.
Yeah. Aside from Redbank, I would say even Garden City is a close second. That's always a tough game, you know, whether it's a lot of times it's down there, which that's always a cool atmosphere. So.
Yeah, they always say, and I know even back when you played, we'd always talk to the kids at school after your games, and they would always, after that Redbank game, would say, it doesn't matter if you win or lose that game, boy, do they hit. So.
Just another one I just came up with right off the bat, but all 3 of you it applies to. In your playing and coaching career, even just in your playing career, is there one game that sticks out to this day that you'll always never forget?
I would have to say this past Redbank game, just like the preparation that went into that game, and that week was honestly one of the most fun weeks of my life. Just the different defense that we put in, all of it was you felt almost like an NFL team in a way, the way we extra prepared, you know. So.
My answer is going to be the Redbank game too, but I'll change it to last year's first game of the season against Brookville, mainly because Ryan Hummel, who was on the team at that time, tore his ACL, and everyone was questionable whether he would actually be able to play or not. And I just remember him absolutely tearing it up that game, and I remember just laughing so hard when he got a pick 6 because you had Ryan Hummel, who had a bum knee, being chased down by Charlie Krug, who also had a bum knee, and it was a battle of the cripple. And
Greg Jennings.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, Hummy won that one, so I'd say that one was pretty memorable.
That's a good one.
Coach?
My playing days, probably my junior year, we played West Middlesex in the state playoffs down in Sharon, which is an awesome atmosphere. Didn't know what to expect. You know, we'd just come off our first district title and went out there and kind of put it on them pretty good. I think we mercy rolled them. You know, it was pretty awesome experience as a player.
And then as a coach?
I would say probably the first district title last year when we beat Brookville. You know, I've been in coaching a lot of years, and I've had several runners up as an assistant. Had teams that I thought were in the mix as a head coach and just couldn't quite get over that hump. So just getting that one last year, I felt like I got that monkey off my back and got that district title as a coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you mentioned about, I know this is a question and answer thing, but when you mentioned that about playing West Middlesex, I was coming home from work one day years ago, back in that day, and they were interviewing some of the coaches at they have a sports banquet at the end of the year, and they were talking to some of the coaches, and they said, what team is one of the hardest that you've ever had to play. And this is in District 10. And that it was not even a question. Clyde Connie and Clarion Limestone. And that was back in that era when you were playing. So that's a feather in you guys' cap, because back then, you know, and still today, football's real tough out there. And you guys made an impression. And when you mentioned that game, it made me think about that.
Now, Coach, this next one's for you. This one comes from Brett and Knox. Looking forward to next season. What is one thing you're super excited for?
I'd say probably the guy I have at quarterback is pretty exciting. You know, just having another year to see his potential and his growth, and you know, he's one of those kids that he brings everyone around him and makes them better. So I'll be excited to see what he does as a leader. He's going to have to really step into that role as a senior, having Jace back, and we got a lot of really good football players back. You know, it's one of those years you're ready for the season to start back up right now. So. I'm just excited to hit the ground running.
Well, we wish you luck headed into then, and I know you guys are still in season right now by your standards, but thank you guys for joining us, and good luck next season.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, and we'll take our last break here on the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet from the Haskell House on Explore Clarion.
Good job.
Protect your home or business from all those sneaky pests. Give Hugh Henry's Pest Management a call at 814-316-1875 or check them out online at bugguy.com. Pest Management, where nature and technology meet.
Clarion Forest VNA believes the emotional and physical well-being of a patient is enhanced by the patient receiving care in the familiar surroundings of home. Their staff of caring professionals work closely with physicians to administer quality care to meet the needs of each individual. As a pioneer in home health care in Clarion and Forest County, Clarion Forest VNA continue to grow to meet the community's need for in-home care, offering many different services and programs to meet the patient's need. Clarion Forest VNA, located at 271 Perkins Road in Clarion. Call us toll-free at 1-800-262-2118.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show. We're going to wrap up our sports show today with just some what's coming up type things. Now, these past couple weeks, I've been trying to fit in all the games for every single sport in one long-winded thing. So what we're going to do now instead is just provide you with what some of our coverage is going to be, so we can chit-chat about it a little bit. So starting off, well, currently happening right now, we have Clarion in Redbank girls basketball. Mike Kilroy's covering that game. And then Saturday. That's the big one that you'll be at, I'll be at. We got Redbank and Clarion boys basketball.
Yeah, that's down in Redbank Valley. And if you're going to go, you want to get there early. And if it fills up, of course, you can watch it right here on Explore.
Absolutely. It should be a very entertaining game. We broadcasted that game, but at Clarion, right? Yeah, so that was a close one. And it should be a great game. I believe the winner of that one will be the first seed in the case.
It should be, yes.
Should be. I don't understand how it wouldn't be anyway, which way else. And then coming up on Tuesday, February 13th, we have Redbank and Curwensville girls wrestling, our first ever girls wrestling broadcast. That is at Redbank?
Yeah, that's at Redbank. Ken Staub will be joining me. And if you want to know anything about wrestling, and I'm learning more and more as we go on. I think it's a really neat sport, but Ken is great.
Yeah, so we had him on, it was last week, and just wrestling guru. Pick that guy's brain about anything wrestling. Now the next day, I will be back February 14th for this because we'll be having a special Wednesday edition of the Main Street Sports Show due to the KSAC playoffs coming up. That is Ed Baumkratz there, and Roger Walter will join us for the Main Street Sports Show a day earlier. So that'll be a good one.
Yeah, I think they'll be talking too a lot about what's coming up with the KSACs and things like that. Two really good guys, very knowledgeable. Very involved in District 9 and the Keystone Shortway Conference, so that'll be great. And it's Valentine's Day, so who knows? It could be crazy things happening that night.
That's all I'll say.
Right.
And then coming after that, the reason why we have the Wednesday broadcast is because Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we will be covering the KSAC playoffs for both boys and girls at Clarion University. Very excited for that, and it should be good, entertaining basketball all around.
Yeah, Thursday's the girls, Friday's the boys, and then the championships on Saturday. So we'll have all those games for you, but I know a lot of folks like to go up and, watch those games at the college, and, we'll see some old friends up there too. I know a lot of folks. We have something else coming in?
Yeah,
We're
I'm
waiting.
definitely excited. Can I make a confession here on the air while we have just a little bit of time? We're buying a little bit of time. I've never been to Clarion University's gym.
Oh,
I've
okay.
never seen anything there, so I'm excited to
They
go
did
to that. I know we got Brett, who's a soon-to-be alumnus here, so at Clarion University. So I'm excited to see that gym and go from there. Lewis Twentier will be on Saturday's broadcast as well.
Lexus.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have
autocorrect.
Lexus is going to join me for those girls' games. I have Dustin on the boys' games. Dustin Kiefer, he was with me last night, and should be really, really good. And I know Lexus. I'll tell you what, she's done fantastic. She calls Bob Dunkel, and he gives her all kinds of schooling, and I'm just amazed. I'm like, wow, and they kind of let the cat out of the bag that she's been getting some training. So.
Oh, of course. If there's one person you want training from, it's Bob Dunkel.
That's right.
So we'll wrap things up here. Thanks for being a part of the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. We'll be back Wednesday, again with an earlier broadcast. Until then, stay safe and good night from the Haskell House. And thank you to all of our sponsors for another week, another episode.